Under the pale light of two alien moons, the river of exile flowed like liquid glass, cold and endless, its dark surface glowing with strange blue light. The night was silent except for the slow hum of wind across the valley, and the quiet weeping of a woman who could no longer move her legs. Saris lay on a stone platform by the riverbank, her silver skin bruised, her long white hair tangled and wet. Her eyes stared at the stars above, blinking slowly, knowing what was about to happen. Around her stood four tall figures, her own family, their faces hidden behind ceremonial masks. Their voices were calm but sharp, speaking in the old language of their kind. "She carries the weakness," one said. "She has brought shame to our bloodline. She cannot walk. She cannot fight. She cannot bear the name of our house," another added. Saris tried to speak, but only a whisper came out. "Please, don't." Her mother, the tallest among them, looked away, silent tears falling under her mask. "Forgive us, child," she said, "but mercy is forbidden." They lifted her gently, as if she were already gone, and walked to the edge of the glowing river. Saris felt the cold mist touch her face, felt the world tilt as they let go. She fell silently into the water, her body sinking through the glowing current. Her family turned away without another word, leaving the shore behind them. The water was colder than death. The river pulled her down, twisting around her like living glass. She tried to move her arms, but her strength was gone. Her lungs burned as she opened her mouth, and bubbles rose toward the moonlight above. For a moment she thought she saw a face in the light, human, unfamiliar, watching her from far away. Then everything went dark, miles above, in orbit around the same planet. A human research ship named Aurora's Reach was scanning for mineral activity. The ship was small, built for exploration, not war inside. A young engineer named Evan Holt sat before the sensor panel, tapping his fingers on the console. His brown hair was messy, his uniform half-zipped. He had been bored for weeks, staring at readings that never changed. Then the screen flickered. "What's that?" he murmured. The computer beeped, showing a faint energy spike. Biosignature detected, life form near the river delta. Temperature dropping rapidly. "Commander?" "We got something weird down there," Evan called out. The commander, an older woman named Rhea, walked over frowning. "Probably a dying fish," she said. "Nothing on this planet's worth the fuel to check." Evan hesitated. "No, look, this pattern's too complex." "That's a heart rhythm. Someone's drowning." Rhea sighed. "We're not authorized to interfere with local species." But Evan didn't wait for permission. He grabbed his rebreather suit, sealed the helmet, and ran to the docking bay. Within minutes, a small shuttle dropped through the clouds, cutting through mist and lightning. The air was thick with static. The shuttle hovered above the river. Evan jumped out, splashing into the freezing current. The cold hit him like a wall, but he kept swimming, guided by the faint pulse from his wrist scanner. Through the glowing water he saw her, Saris, sinking deeper, her body limp, her hair floating like silk. He kicked harder, his lungs burning, his hand reached out, fingers brushing against her arm. For a second, he felt her pulse, faint but real. "Come on, stay with me," he muttered, pulling her toward the surface. The river fought back, dragging them both down. Evan's vision blurred. He activated his thruster pack, blasting upward, breaking through the surface with a gasp. Rain poured down from the twin moons, lightning flashing across the valley. Evan dragged her to the shore, laying her on the wet stones. He tore off his helmet and checked her breathing. Nothing. He pressed his hands to her chest, pumping rhythmically. "Don't die on me now," he whispered. After several tense seconds, she coughed, water spilling from her mouth. Her eyes opened, glowing faintly blue. For a moment she looked at him, confused, scared and in pain. Her lips moved, forming sounds he couldn't understand. "It's okay," Evan said softly. "You're safe now," but she wasn't. Not yet, high above, unseen in the clouds. A signal was already traveling across the stars. The family of Saris had activated the mark of exile. It meant only one thing: she had survived the river. And now the hunters would come to finish what the water could not. Evan didn't know that, not yet. He only knew that he had found someone worth saving, and he wasn't going to let her go. As the storm raged on, the human and the alien lay side by the river's edge, two strangers bound by a single act of defiance. The glowing current whispered below them, carrying away the last trace of betrayal, and above the clouds, the first shadow of a warship began to move, following the signal of exile, drawn toward the river where mercy had dared to exist. The rain had not stopped. The river still glowed faintly under the twin moons, casting pale light on the broken valley. Evan stood over the alien woman he had pulled from the water. His heart still racing, she was breathing, barely, her chest rising and falling weakly. Her silver skin shimmered in the faint light, reflecting the human's worried face. He lifted her carefully, wrapping her in a thermal blanket. His communicator buzzed in his ear. "Evan Holt," the commander's voice barked. "Where the hell are you?" "I found someone, Commander," he said, breathing hard. "She's alive." "Someone?" Ria's tone sharpened. "We have strict non-interference orders. You were told that before we landed." "I couldn't just watch her die," Evan said, glancing at the unconscious alien. "She was drowning." "That's not your call," Ria snapped. "Return to the ship immediately." Evan looked at Saris again, the alien woman who had been left to die by her own kind. He couldn't explain it. But something in her face, something fragile and sad, made him ignore the order. He lifted her into the shuttle and closed the hatch. The engines roared as the small craft lifted into the air, breaking through clouds and lightning until it reached the human research vessel, Aurora's Reach. When the hatch opened, 2 security officers stood ready, their weapons lowered but tense. "Who is she?" one of them asked, staring at Saris's alien features. "I don't know," Evan replied, "but she needs help." They carried her to the med bay. The ship's medic, Dr. Lin, ran a scanner over her body. "Her spinal cord's been damaged, partial paralysis," Lin said. "Her body temperature is dropping, heart rhythm irregular, but she's stable. Can you save her?" Evan asked. "I can keep her alive," Lin replied. "But that's not the issue, Evan. Do you know what happens if the Galactic Council finds out we're harboring a local species?" Evan didn't answer. He just watched as Saris stirred, her eyes opening slightly. She looked around the sterile white room. Confused, the soft hum of machines surrounded her. She tried to move, but her body wouldn't respond. "Easy," Evan said softly, stepping closer. "You're safe here." She blinked, her lips trembling. She didn't understand the words, but his tone was gentle. Dr. Lin handed Evan a translation device. "Here. This might help." Evan pressed the small disc near her neck. The device glowed, connecting to her vocal patterns. Saris whispered something, her voice weak. "Where am I?" "You're on a human ship," Evan said. "I pulled you from the river." Her eyes widened. "The river," she whispered. "They threw me away." The room fell silent. Evan felt his chest tighten. "Your family?" She nodded slowly, tears forming. "They said I was cursed. My legs don't move. They said the water will purify me." Evan clenched his fists, anger rising. "That's not purification. That's murder." Dr. Lin gave him a warning look. "Careful, Holt, you're already in trouble." Just then, the intercom buzzed. "Bridge to medbay, Commander Ria here." "Go ahead," Lin replied. "We've received a transmission," Ria said. "Encrypted alien signal, targeting our position." Evan's stomach dropped. "Her people?" "Maybe," Ria answered. "Whatever it is, they're coming fast." "And they don't sound friendly," Saris gasped, her eyes glowing faintly. "They marked me," she said. "The mark of exile, my family sent it. They will come to erase me. And anyone who helped." Evan looked at her in shock. "Erase you?" She nodded. "It is the law of my world." "Not anymore," he said quietly. "You're under my protection now." Ria stormed into the medbay. "Evan, what the hell did you bring onto my ship?" "She's not a threat," he said firmly. "She's someone who needs help." "She's a beacon," Ria snapped, pointing to the monitor. "That signal from her body. It's leading her people straight to us. If we don't hand her over, we'll all be dead." Evan's jaw tightened. "Then we run." "Run?" Ria repeated. "You want me to risk my crew for an alien we don't even know?" Evan stepped forward, his voice low but steady. "If we give her back, we're sending her to die, and I won't be part of that." For a long moment, the commander said nothing. Then she turned to Dr. Lin. "Stabilize her, prepare for launch. We'll lift off in 10 minutes." As the engines powered up, Saris looked at Evan again. "Why?" she asked softly. He smiled faintly. "Because no one deserves to drown alone." The ship rose through the storm, the glowing river fading beneath them. But above the clouds, in the black sky, shadows moved. 3 alien warships, sleek and silver, broke through orbit, scanning the planet's surface. Ria's voice echoed through the comm. "All hands, prepare for pursuit." Evan glanced at Saris. They're coming, aren't they? She nodded. They will not stop, not until I'm gone. Evan tightened his grip on the console. Then they're going to learn what happens when humanity refuses to look away. Outside, lightning danced across the stars. The aurora's reach accelerated, breaking through the upper atmosphere. The chase had begun, and somewhere deep inside her, Saris felt something she had never felt before, not fear, but the strange warmth of being worth saving. The stars stretched endlessly outside the window, glowing like silver dust against the dark. The human ship Aurora's Reach moved quietly through that darkness, engines running low to avoid detection. Inside, the air felt heavy, every sound sharper than usual. Every heartbeat carried the weight of fear. Evan sat near the medbay door watching Sarah sleep. Her breathing had steadied, her face calm now. A blanket covered her fragile form, and soft light from the monitors made her silver skin shine like moonlight. Dr. Lin whispered, "She's stabilizing, but her body's weak. She won't survive another shock like that." Evan nodded slowly. "Then we'll make sure she doesn't face one." The door slid open and Commander Rhea entered. Her face tense. "We can't outrun them forever," she said. "Those alien ships are faster, stronger, and better armed." Evan stood. "Then we hide. There's a dead moon 2 systems away, full of magnetic storms. Their scanners won't track us through that." Rhea frowned. "You really think this is worth risking your life for?" "For her?" Evan's voice was quiet but firm. "Yes, because she's the proof that mercy still matters." Rhea said nothing more, but the way she looked at him softened for a moment. "Prepare a course," she ordered, "but if they catch up, we'll have no choice but to fight." As the ship jumped through hyperspace, Sarah stirred awake. Her glowing blue eyes opened slowly, seeing Evan sitting beside her. "You stayed," she whispered, her voice weak but clear. "Of course I did," he said with a small smile. "You think I'd let them win that easily?" She looked confused. "You risk everything for me, but why?" Evan shrugged. "Maybe because it's the right thing to do." She smiled faintly. Her eyes filled with sadness. "My people don't believe in right or wrong, only in strength and shame." "Then maybe they need to meet a human," Evan replied quietly. Moments later, alarms blared across the ship. Red lights flashed through the corridors. Rhea's voice came through the comm. "All hands, alien ships incoming." "They found us." Evan rushed to the cockpit. Saris tried to sit up, but her body trembled. She reached out. "Evan, don't fight them. They will destroy you." He paused at the door and looked back at her. "I'd rather die trying to protect someone innocent than live knowing I didn't." The cockpit filled with static as energy blasts streaked past the hull. The alien ships appeared on the radar, 3 sharp triangles cutting through space, each glowing with cold white light. "Shields up," Rhea ordered. "Evasive pattern gamma." Evan took the co-pilot's seat. Guiding the ship into a nearby asteroid belt, huge rocks spun slowly in the void. Each the size of a small city, the alien ships followed, firing beams of plasma that exploded against the stones. The Aurora's Reach weaved between debris. Dodging fire with narrow escapes, Sarah, still in the medbay, closed her eyes. Her mind reached outward. Far beyond her body, she could feel the ships hunting them, could hear the voices of her own people whispering in her head. "You were born broken, you bring only shame. You should have stayed beneath the water." Tears rolled down her face, but she pushed the voices away. Her glowing eyes brightened, and a strange hum filled the room. The monitors flickered. Her telepathic link, once a curse, was awakening again. In the cockpit, Evan saw a sudden flash on the sensors. "They're turning back," he said, surprised. Rhea frowned. "Why?" "They had us." Evan looked at the readings again. "No, they didn't just retreat. They lost our signal back in the medbay." Saris opened her eyes slowly, breathing hard. "I hit us," she said weakly. "They can't see the ship now." "Not for a while." Evan ran to her side, staring in disbelief. "You did this?" She nodded, trembling. "It will not last, but it gives you time." Evan took her hand gently. "You saved us." Her lips curved in a faint smile. "Maybe. We saved each other." The ship drifted silently into the shadow of a dead moon, its surface covered in craters and frozen storms. Here, surrounded by silence and ice, they found a moment of peace. Evan set up emergency power, keeping the lights dim. He looked out at the strange moon and then back at Saris. "They'll keep coming, won't they?" "Yes," she whispered. "They will never stop until I'm gone. Then we make them stop." Evan said firmly. We fight back. She looked at him with wonder. You would fight my own people? For me? Evan smiled softly. You said your world doesn't believe in right or wrong. Maybe it's time someone taught them what compassion looks like. Ria's voice came through the comm. Softer now. You both should rest. We'll need all the strength we can get before dawn. As the ship drifted through the dark, Sarah stared at the human beside her. For the first time, she felt something she had never known. Hope. The stars outside no longer looked like the eyes of hunters, but like distant candles waiting to be reached. And far away, beyond the silent void, her people prepared again. Their warships gathering under the command of her own brother. The hunt was not over, not yet. The next dawn among the stars would bring a new choice, one that would test the meaning of mercy itself. The dead moon hung in the darkness like a broken jewel, its frozen surface cracked and glowing faintly beneath the starlight. The human ship Aurora's Reach rested in its shadow, silent, hidden and waiting. Inside, tension filled the air like electricity before a storm. Evan stood by the window watching the stars. His jaw was tight, his eyes tired but fierce. Behind him, Sarah sat upright for the first time since the river. Her legs were still weak, but her spirit had changed. There was fire in her voice now, soft but sure. They will come, she said quietly. My family does not forgive mercy. Evan nodded. Then we'll be ready. Commander Ria entered, holding a data tablet. 3 ships on approach. 15 minutes out, she said. No chance of hiding this time. Evan turned. Then we make our stand here. Ria frowned. We're not a warship, Evan. We can't fight them. He smiled faintly. We don't need to win a war, just a few minutes. Saris looked at him. Confused us. Why a few minutes? Evan pointed to the moon's horizon. There's a mining field below the ice, old human tech. It's unstable. But I can rig it into a trap if we time it right. We can take out their lead ship. Ria's eyes widened. You're insane. Maybe, Evan said. But it's the only way. Saris shook her head. You risk your life for me again. You shouldn't, Evan smiled. You already gave us time once. Now it's my turn. He left the room and moved to the engineering bay, his hands flying across the controls, sparks flickering as he rerouted power. Outside, the first alien ships appeared, sleek silver vessels that glided like predators through the dark. Their light scanned the surface. Their weapons charging, Sarah sat in silence, staring at the stars, her heart pounded, a strange feeling rising inside her. For so long she had been called weak, cursed, unwanted. But this human, this stranger from another world, saw her differently. He saw something worth saving. Dr. Lin entered quietly. You should rest. Sarah shook her head. No, I can feel them coming, their voices, their anger. Her eyes began to glow brighter, blue light spreading across her skin like liquid fire. The room trembled. Lin stepped back, shocked. Evan's voice came through the comm. All systems armed. I just need someone to trigger it once they're close enough, Ria replied. That'll kill whoever stays behind. Evan didn't answer. He just said, make sure Saris gets out alive. Saris grabbed the communicator. No, you can't. Evan's voice softened. Saris, I have to. Someone has to stay and make sure this works. Tears filled her glowing eyes. You saved me once, let me save you now. She focused her energy. The ship vibrating as lights flickered. Her mind stretched across the distance, touching the alien warships approaching. Inside those ships, her family heard her voice, echoing in their minds, you called me cursed. But I was only different. You tried to drown me. But a human showed me what kindness truly means. Her power surged. Sensors exploded with static. Ria shouted, she's overloading the psychic field. Get out of there. Evan turned, staring at the glowing figure through the med bay window. Saris, stop, you'll die. She shook her head, tears falling like blue light. No, this time I choose. The alien ships drew closer, their weapons firing, beams of white energy lighting up the dark. Evan slammed the final sequence. Ria, now. The ground erupted, a wave of fire and ice exploding upward as the mining field ignited. The shock wave tore through space, striking the alien ships head-on. One ship shattered instantly. The others were thrown off course inside the Aurora's Reach. Alarms blared, systems failing. Sarah stood in the middle of the chaos, her body surrounded by pure light. Her power reached through the storm, bending it, redirecting the energy away from the ship, protecting Evan and the crew. Evan ran toward her, shouting, "Ceres!" But she was fading, her body trembling as the light grew brighter. She looked at him, her voice breaking. "You showed me mercy. Now let me return it." Evan reached for her hand as everything went white. Then silence. When the light faded, the warships were gone. The moon's surface was cracked open, glowing with molten rivers. Aurora's reach floated above the chaos. Damaged but alive, Evan lay on the floor, smoke rising around him. He opened his eyes slowly. "Ceres," he whispered, but she was gone. Only the faint shimmer of blue light lingered in the air, drifting like a soft mist. Rhea entered, coughing through the smoke. "She saved us," she said quietly. Evan nodded, his voice low. "She saved everyone." He stood slowly, looking out the window at the broken horizon. The stars beyond seemed quieter now, as if the universe itself had paused to honor her. And in the silence, somewhere deep within the light, he thought he heard her voice, gentle and distant. "You taught me what it means to live." Soft light filled the sky above the ruined moon. Days had passed since the battle. The fires had cooled, the echoes of war had faded, and the human ship Aurora's Reach drifted silently in orbit. Its hull was scarred, its crew exhausted but alive. Evan walked through the quiet corridors, his steps slow and heavy. The hum of the engines was the only sound now. He stopped at the medbay door, looking inside. The bed where Ceres had once rested was empty. The faint blue shimmer that had filled the room was gone. Only the faint scent of her still lingered. He sat by the window, staring at the stars. The memory of her voice echoed in his mind. "You taught me what it means to live." He closed his eyes, whispering, "And you taught me what it means to care." Commander Rhea entered quietly, her face softer than before. "We've repaired the engines," she said. "The council wants a report." Evan didn't look away from the stars. "Tell them we found nothing," Rhea frowned. "Nothing?" He nodded slowly. "If they know what happened here, they'll try to use it, her power, her sacrifice. It's not for them." Rhea studied him for a moment, then sighed. "You're a strange man, Holt," she said. But there was respect in her voice now. Later, when the ship descended back toward the planet, the sky burned gold and silver. Evan requested one last stop. The river, the same river where everything had begun. The valley was quiet now, the water glowing softly beneath the twin moons. He stepped out onto the bank, the wind cold against his face. The stones still bore faint scorch marks from the battle far above. He knelt beside the river and touched the water. "It was colder than before, but calm," he whispered. "You were right, Ceres, the river doesn't take life. It returns it." For a moment the water rippled, a soft blue light spreading from his touch. He looked closer and saw a reflection that wasn't his own, a faint outline of her face, smiling through the current. "You kept your promise," he said quietly. "You didn't let me drown in my own heart." Her reflection shimmered and faded, but the warmth of her presence stayed. Dr. Lin approached slowly, carrying a small metal capsule. "We found this in the energy core," she said. Handing it to him, inside was a crystal glowing faintly blue. Evan held it close, realizing it pulsed like a heartbeat. He smiled faintly. "She's still here." He placed the crystal into the river, watching as it sank beneath the glowing surface. The light spread outward, forming gentle waves that danced beneath the moons. The valley glowed brighter than ever before. From orbit, the Aurora's Reach scanned the area, and the sensors detected something impossible. The river's radiation had changed. It now carried energy strong enough to heal living cells, to bring balance to poisoned ground. Ceres's power had fused with the planet itself, turning her final act into a gift of life. Rhea's voice came through the communicator. "Evan, it's beautiful down there," he smiled softly. "Yeah," he said. She finally found peace. As the ship rose once more, leaving the valley behind, Evan looked out the window. The river below shimmered like a line of stars, winding through the world she had once called home. He whispered, "Goodbye, Ceres," but somewhere deep in the hum of the engines, a faint voice answered, carried by the wind, "Not goodbye, just forever." And as the ship vanished into the starlit sky, the river below continued to glow. No longer a river of exile, but a river of hope. The legend of the human who refused to let her die would spread across the stars, reminding every world that mercy was never weakness. It was the strength that even the void could not destroy.